Hey everybody, welcome back to Scribbles with Jonathan. You can check out my website, my work at jonathanrector.com. And if you guys enjoy the videos, please feel free to share them. That'd be really awesome. So we're doing a little bit something different today. We're going to do some coloring. And what this picture here is, obviously it's a Ninja Turtle, and it's Raphael. It was drawn for a friend of mine, for his cousin. His cousin, I won't get into the specifics why, but anyway, it was just drawn for him, just to get his spirits up a little bit. And I figured, what the hell, let's hit record while we're doing the coloring, because we haven't really done much coloring videos. So the line art basically got to this how I normally would with everything else. So there's no tricks there. This is all drawn in Manga Studio, colored in Photoshop here. And what I'm doing here is I have the art layer, if you can see right at the top there, and I set that to multiply. And all my flats, if you want to call them that, or basically you're just basic colors, which would be kind of like your midtone, not quite a shadow, not quite a highlight, but just your midtone, are drawn on layers underneath it. And what I like to do is draw certain things on individual layers. So Raphael's skin would be his own layer, the green, and then his reds would be on another layer, like his bandanas and stuff, and so on. And actually what I'm doing here as well, because this is a bitmap image, or the line art was, I should say, the art, or the coloring, I'm actually drawing, if you hold and click on the brush tool, you could turn it into a pencil tool. And what the pencil tool does is it basically draws it in a bitmap. There's no grays, there's no shading, it's just precise lines. And why I like doing that is because if I need to do color holds or color adjustments on certain colors on certain layers, it's so much easier to just click on it or use the wand tool and just select it. I don't know if we use it too much in this, but there are some techniques where it's actually pretty important if you want to do some sort of effects and things. Maybe we'll get into that one day. But what I'm doing here is I'm basically just doing the outline of wherever the color would be, and then I'll grab my wand tool, and with the wand tool, if you look at the top, there's something that says, I believe it's, if you check it, it'll be select multiple layers, or view visible layers, or something like that. If you click it off, it'll only be the active layer. If you click it on, it'll be all the layers. So what I would do is, like right there with all of the folds in there, if I clicked it with all the layers, it would actually start going in between all those lines where the line art was, and that could be a little bit of a mess. But if you just click like the current layer, you can make that little outline shape and then fill it. So you select with the wand and then Alt backspace to fill. I've got it on an F key for an action, just to make it a little bit quicker. Yeah, so we're just going through all that stuff, and just to give you a quick rundown at what we're going to do once all of this is filled in. Essentially what I do is I like to grab that midtone again with the eyedropper tool, and I'll select it twice, once for the foreground color, one for the background color. Then what I'll do is I'll take the, to make a highlight, I'll choose one of those colors and make it a little bit lighter, like a lighter green. Then I would do the opposite for the color beneath it and make it maybe into a purplish green, just to pull in some shadows. Then with that, I'll add a gradient so that you get an idea of where the light source would be, and then I can go and add shading and rendering. We'll get to it. I know it probably sounds a little complicated, but pretty sure about to get to it now. So I'm just playing around with some folders just to try to organize things a little bit. I end up just making a mess of this thing, so it's not a big deal. So as you can see really quickly, what we're going to do here is we just got it all selected. There we go. Trying to bring in the color picker so you guys can see what I'm doing there. And I just make sure, if you control click on a layer, this is where it's really cool. If you control click on like the green, like I did, now I can start to just select just that, so it's not affecting the background all the time. And then I'll just kind of delete it to clean it up. So there we go, we got it. Now the next step that I like to do is I grab the lasso tool, and I just kind of make shapes. Lower your opacity on your brush, and you can just kind of like pet it in there. I realize it's going a little bit quicker. Maybe I should just do a little bit of a video just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This kind of coloring has been around for a while, especially in the 90s. There's a lot of heavy cuts and stuff that people like to call this, where it basically goes sharp, like you can kind of see it. The reason I want with this kind of coloring as opposed to like just airbrushing, well, I guess this kind of looks airbrushing, but instead of like really painting it, the shadowing that I do is pretty sharp. Like if you notice, a lot of things I have are sharp angles and stuff. There's not really much rendering, especially in this one. So I figure if the light source would be like that, then the shadow should kind of look like that and make it a little bit better. So here I'm doing the exact same thing that I did with the shadow, except just with the lighter green. And you got to be careful when you're doing this kind of stuff because, obviously the further away certain things get from a light source, you shouldn't be hitting it all. Like not everything is hit with the same light. No, what am I talking about? Everything is hit by the same light. That's why it's affected differently. Wow. I was about to give you guys some really interesting information on that one. Jeez. So we're still going. It's pretty quick at this point. I mean, once everything starts to fall into place. Again, all of it always defaults down to lighting. Pick a light source and stick with it. It'll make your entire world much easier. So obviously the light source here is the top right. So that means anything opposing the top right should get a shadow on it. And you can play around, obviously. Not everything is set in stone, but I would recommend, especially for your base, or when you first start, definitely go in there, establish your light source, and then start, messing around. Here you can see I'm just kind of, playing around with it. I think my brush settings literally were, let's say you had the default round brush, turn pressure sensitivity on. Don't make the roundness, or no, what is it? It's like I use Photoshop all the time, and I can never remember exactly the menus. If I were to go in there, like I could just show you guys right now, I would. But since we're watching recording, basically it's your round brush. And if you look, there's a thing I think it says softness and hardness. It's default all the way to the hardness so that you can get like a nice sharp line. I usually bring that all the way down, maybe a little bit less than all the way, just so that it's soft so you're not getting sharp shapes. And then sometimes I'll even go down to like 70% opacity to get that effect once I have a lasso selected. Like you'll see right here, I'm going to start adding it in, trying to shade up all of his armor here, or his chest plate. Okay, right there. You see the lasso tool that I'm doing there? This is what I'm talking about. Like right there, be kind of like 70% plus pressure sensitivity, and then I'll just kind of like pet the lines a little bit and build it up. And that's basically how the whole process works. And it looks pretty cool. Like I like that kind of coloring. It's kind of a classic comic book style coloring anyway. Let's put a little bit more highlights on there. And like usual, this will be uploaded to DeviantArt, so you guys can click on the link in the description bar if you guys wanted to see the higher resolution version. And I did get a couple emails from people saying that they can't see pictures unless they have a DeviantArt account. So let me know if that's true. Maybe I can figure something out. Probably what I just should do is just have a link in the underbar that goes to my website so you guys can see it that way. And there's a wallpaper shot. I'm not quite sure why this is popping up, but it's not meant to be a plug. But definitely check out this comic. This comic is awesome. Shark Knife is an awesome comic book. Alright, so I guess this is the end of the video. Weird, I thought there was an extra part. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Keep reading comics. Keep making comics. Talk to you soon. Bye.